Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Jessica Pierce, and I am a customer success manager here at Blackbaud. I am on the arts and cultural team. Prior to joining Blackbaud, I was a Razor's Edge user in my past life, as well as a cultural user. So I love being here on this side, meeting you all, meeting other customers, and seeing the cool things that you all are doing. But I'm very excited today to be moderating this session with Ron here. Thank you for joining us. Ron is our speaker today. Ron, without further ado, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. Welcome to BB Dev Days. My name is Ron Frum. I'm a software engineer at Blackbaud. I started out in customer support like 20 some years ago. I've been worked on Blackbaud CRM for a while. Been working on Razor's Edge NXT for the last 8 or so years. But today, really excited to be showing you some upcoming stuff that we have come in for standard reports. So let me go and share my screen. All right. All right, I think it should be up there now. So today we're going to be talking about the standard reports API that's coming to RENXT. And the first question a lot of people may have is what are standard reports? It's kind of a new word at Blackbaud, but it's not a new concept. It is a new feature that's coming to WebView, but it's really going to be, if you've done any reporting in database view, it's going to be the reports that you're familiar with in there. Gift detail report, action detail report, donor category report, that kind of stuff. We're bringing those reports to WebView. And of course, we're going to supply an API to go along with that. I wanted to spend a little bit of time in WebView first, because a lot of people probably haven't seen this yet. And I think it helps to kind of set the stage for how the API is going to work. So eventually, everybody's going to get a new standard reports option under analysis. And here it's going to show kind of what reports are available. You will not get all of the reports day one. We've got a bunch of them in flight right now. Gift detail and summary is complete. Action detail report is complete. Donor category report is in its kind of final testing phase right now. Annual statement report and appeal performance analysis are a little bit earlier in their development lifecycle, but they're being worked on, and we have a whole list of reports beyond that. So I'm hoping that we can add more here over time. Just so you guys have the same experience that you have in database view today. So you're going to have this reports tab. You're going to get this list of reports here. These are not ones that I've necessarily created in WebView. Any reports you've created in database view are going to be available in WebView, and vice versa. I want to kind of walk through what adding a report looks like. So I'm going to do a new gift detail and summary report. Date to use, I can pick gift date, DL post day. I can do all records. I can also do selected records if I wanted to make it based on a query. I can also do one record. If you want to do it just on a specific constituent, it allows that. For my date range, I'm going to pick last calendar year, because I don't think I've got a whole lot this month. And we have a lot of the same options that are in database view. We can pick to choose an output, to create an output query. We can change the pledge type, matching gift options. Details tab. This is some of the stuff that was on the format tab in database view. We moved it over here to kind of make it a little bit more kind of in your face, because these things actually affect what the report looks like and what information is included. A filters tab. These are the same filters that you would have in database view. Where I can pick I can pick a specific fund if I want, or if I want to do a query of funds, we support that as well. Gift types tab. Again, this is going to be really similar to what we have in database view. Gift detail report gives you basically 4 columns. where you can set, what gift types are included in each column. So if I've got pledge here, if I wanted to include plan of gift with that as well, I can do that here. If you're on, like dealing with stocks, you can do stock sale date and all that. So these are, very similar to the columns that we have, gift types that we have, sorry, in database view. Custom fields, we can exclude records based on custom fields for either gift or constituent. I'm not going to add one here, so I don't think I've got a ton of records in this sample database. Columns tab is going to be, again, same columns that you have access to in database view. We can come in here and change the column of these things if we want. If we want to add some new columns, we can do that. So I can add acknowledge date. I can pick something else. I can pick, post date, but you pick fundraiser name, gift constituency, all of that stuff. I think I caught a question about. I'm going to circle back to these questions at the end.
We have a few questions, Ron. I'll
Okay.
put them in a yeah.
Yeah, I'll save some time at the end so we can circle back to those. I don't want to lose my train of thought right now. I'll go way off track. So, we go in here, add whatever columns we need to. The format tab is going to be a little bit stripped down. It doesn't have all of the options that are in database view. So I know it lets you pick like colors and add logos. We don't have that available right now. We may introduce it in the future. Another thing that's currently missing is a lot of the address processing options that you have. So if you want to show, seasonal addresses, we do not support that as of right now. Like I said, it may be added in the future. I should mention too, we are starting an EAP with this functionality sometime in the next couple of weeks. So if anybody's interested in EAP, you can just drop a note in the chat and we can have the team follow up with you. Christopher Anderson is leading that effort if anybody wants to reach out to him directly, but I can make sure we have everybody's names and reach out to you when we have slots available in the EAP. I think we're currently filled up, but I know we want to bring some more on eventually. So I'm going to go and fill out a little bit more stuff here. We can also, we got sort. So I'll sort this by gift date. Name formats, we have the same kind of options that we have in database view. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So I save it. I'm going to give it a name. We'll call it BPWs 4. So others can run it but not modify it. All right, so that gives me my report down here in my list. And I've got a few options that I can do with it. I can run it, export it, edit it, and delete it. So I'm going to do 2 of these. I'm going to run it. We'll see here it's generating a report. I'm also going to export it. And those are going to be the 2 output options that we have. I know database view has a lot of different options, Blackbaud, XML format, and all that stuff. And we do not support all of those things right now. The only things that we do support currently are going to be PDF and CSVs. So let's take a look at the export first. Looks like that finished first. So this is going to give us a CSV file. This is going to look a little bit different than, if some people have exported in the past. It's actually in like a normal format. I know that some of the Excel formats that come out of database view are pretty crazy looking at times because it tries to bring a lot of the crystal formatting in there and it gets kind of wild. So this is going to give you basically a straight CSV dump of whatever data is building up that report. So this is going to be a lot more convenient if you need to, import this into another system or have it drive another integration. I really think the CSV format is going to be a lot better than most of the formats that we get out of database view today. So it should be really helpful to developers. I don't need to save that. This was test from before. And let me see, is my Looks like my PDF is still running. It'll usually take a little bit longer to do PDFs. It'll have to actually has to generate those. All right, looks like that failed to complete for some reason. Let's go and pop it up again. Save. I'm gonna pull these columns off in case that caused a problem, and I'm trying to try that again. All right, so that's gonna go ahead and run. Hopefully that finishes up. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with that other one. Let that run for a minute, but while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the API a little bit. So the good news about the API is it is super easy to use. I was here last year and I was demoing a really complex API. And I'm very happy to say this one is significantly easier to use. So we walk up to it. There's only 4 endpoints. There's really only 2 that do the interesting stuff. So the first one we're going to see is this get report types. So if I come in here, let me get my authorization set up. And so I'm coming here, I don't have any parameters, and I'm going to send this. And basically, this just gives me back the types of reports that the API can interact with. So right now, it just knows about action detail report and get detailed summary report. Like I said, in the future, we'll be adding more to these, but as of right now, we just kind of have those 2 to work with. So I'm going to grab this report type ID, 1200. Let's go into report instances, which is going to be kind of our next layer down. And this is going to map to there's that list that we see in WebView there. So you pop in the report type here. It also does the only owned reports. So if you want to just see ones that you've created, you can do that as well. This one, I'll just bring back everything. So here, I'm going to grab this 2023 annual giving report. That was one I was testing with earlier. So now that we have the report, and since we're going to do what's called a report execution job, and that's kind of what you see running in the background there. So whenever we run the report, it'll give you a toast and eventually a notification when it finishes, and that's going to be sorry, I gotta authorize in here. And that's going to be the same thing that we do here. Whenever we start a report job, it's going to do the same thing where it's going to kind of run in the background. Nice thing about that is, if you're in database view, it kind of locks your whole screen up there. You got to try to find a way around it. And, this way you can kind of keep working as these things are running. So here, you notice it takes the report type ID as well as the report instance ID. You also choose the output format. I'm going to do a PDF for this one. It also supports CSV as well. The time zone offset in minutes sounds a little bit peculiar, but it's really used to help determine like the current date. Instead of relying on the time zone that the server happens to be in, this will use the time zone that you're in. If you have a filter that's like show me gifts as of today and stuff like that, this will ensure that when we talk about today, that we mean you're today and not today in a time zone that's further ahead than you or further behind you. So we're going to go and start this report job, and it's going to give me back a job ID. So I'm going to copy that and move over to the next endpoint that is getting a report job. And this is going to basically just bring back information about that job that we just created. So, that failed. Yeah, it looks like all of my PDFs are failing for some reason. I do not know why that is. So let's try another one. Apologize for that. They were working for me earlier. This is still under active development, so there might be some more changes flowing through. I think that was 405. And I'm going to do CSV. All right, so I got a new job ID. Let's hope this one fares a little bit better for me. All right, so that one is completed, which is good. So we see that brings back the ID, it brings status, and it's got this report view information. So I'm going to go and go to this URL. And what that's going to do is basically give me this annual giving to CSV file. And if we look there, it's going to be the same information that we would see if we were to run that report job directly through WebView. Okay. It looks like I'm not sharing my screen, right? Let me try this again.
Yeah, they're only seeing your browser.
Okay. All right. All right. I think that's better now. Yeah, so here is my CSV file. I guess that was probably a problem earlier when I kept talking about it. So yeah, so this is going to be a straight CSV with, kind of everything in one column, kind of the way that we would expect it. So, if you had a process that was firing off some report jobs, it can, keep checking the status on those. When they're completed, it's going to include that URL. So you can download that and, upload it into your system or whatever you need to do from it. I wanted to mention that this link that it gives you does not last forever. It is limited to 15 minutes, I believe. But that job sticks around for a while. So if your link expires, you can just do get report job again, and it'll basically generate a new link. Like if I generate this, it'll give me a slightly different link each time. Each kind of, expands it on for, kind of another 15 minutes. And if we come back and web view, I can see I got a notification that my report completed. And if I come here, I can also see my report here that ran, and I can see my other one here that failed. I wanted to show some other aspects of this as well. So if we go into my test report, and I did this in give detail mode. We also support summary mode, and we also support both. So I'm going to take a look at both. And, if I look at the summary view, we think of the, give detail report as kind of like 2 reports when it's actually kind of 5 reports, because you can do, summary by campaign, fund, appeal, and constituency code. So I'm going to update this to include all of these things. And I don't remember what the ID for that one was, so I'm going to hop over here and get that again. Oh. Yeah, I forgot my report type. Missing. There it goes. All right, so I'm going to go and start a report execution for these guys. Auth in again. So report type ID is still 1200. I'm going to give it a new report instance ID. And so this is going to be, I think I'm going to do CSV again. That seemed to be running better for me. So around this time, it's actually going to bring me back multiple job IDs. So let me copy these out here and we'll take a look at a couple of them. So I can see this is, has the status of data processing. I can also see that that is the detail view. And then I do it again, I see it's completed. So I can go and here, it's going to bring out my detail view again. Let's take a look at one of these other jobs that got created. All right, I can see that one also completed. I can see this one here, though, is the campaign summary. Take a look at a couple of these other jobs. They're going to look pretty similar. But that report view section is going to let you know if you fire off a report that's going to generate multiple files. It's going to generate a separate job for each file. And you kind of use this report view information to figure out which one is which. So that's going to be, that's going to let you see which one is the, campaign summary versus the appeal summary. That's the SIC code summary. And so I'll take a look at the last one. That's the fund summary. Let's take a look at one of these as well. And so here we can see that this one looks a little bit different. It's got fewer rows, and it's summing everything up by the fund. So that's the standard reports API. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. I apologize for the problems with the PDF processing. I will go and get that fixed today so that our EAP customers don't see it. But that's kind of the gist of it. I'm going to go back and try to dig through the chat and look for questions, unless, Jessica, do you happen to have those ready?
Yeah, we have a lot. So
okay.
If we don't get to any of your questions, we will still have them after the session. So we'll be able to follow up with y'all. But Ron, lots of folks had questions about when this is coming. When can they expect this?
That is way above my pay grade. But I will say that it's close. This is not, something that's coming in a couple of years. We are starting EAP for that, I believe, within the next week or two. I believe that it's scheduled to run for maybe 6 weeks. So I think it'll be a matter of after that, I think we'll look at the feedback and, if we're close and everybody's happy with what we have and there's no bugs and there's no, huge feature gaps, I think I would expect to see it not long after that. But it's really going to be dependent on how that EAP goes and what kind of feedback we get.
Awesome. And then lots of folks put in the chat that they want to join the EAP. Just to confirm, we'll be able to grab the list and reach out to them through the chat as well.
Yeah. I'll pull everybody that's in the chat after this.
Yeah.
I can't promise that everybody gets in. I know that we only have like a fixed number of slots available. So I can't promise everybody will be involved, but I can guarantee that I will at least pass your name on to Christopher and get those on the list.
Awesome. Thank you. So one question with a lot of votes here, will we be able to schedule an email with a link to fundraisers rather than a PDF export?
Maybe. So there's a couple things that we're doing in this area. So one thing that's here now is, and I didn't show this at all, but there's now a share option. Let's see if I can do it. So I believe, I'm not sure how this. There's a way to share a report. Okay, yeah, so if I go here, I've got this annual giving report that I created. And what I can do is I can share this with somebody. So I can share this with Christopher. And when I do that, what's going to happen is Christopher is going to get a notification that he has a new report shared with him. And then he'll be able to see that on his shared tab. So that is one way that you can kind of get information out to a fundraiser. We are also working on scheduling reports. I don't know if that's going to include emailing them or not, but we're at least we have some of the foundation in place, I believe, to do scheduling of reports. But that'll probably be either later on in EAP or post EAP.
Awesome, thank you.
No
Next question, does this just replicate the database view reports, or are there additional enhancements? And kind of to piggyback on that, a lot of folks asked about kind of specific use cases for this API versus what they're doing now.
I would say I don't think we're adding a whole lot of new features to the reports. I would expect them to work almost identical to what's in database view. I think the couple caveats of that are going to be, we may introduce some scheduling capabilities. We may, the CSV format that we use is slightly different than database view. I think there's, some UX enhancements that we've made. But I don't think we've hit a point where we are able to, we don't want to add new things on there. I don't want to add a new filter in WebView yet, because I still want to be able to save that report and run it in database view. And I think there's some concern if I add a filter in WebView that only works in WebView, and you try to open that report in database view, I'm not sure how that would work. You're definitely not going to get the same results you would in WebView. So I don't expect them to differ drastically. In terms of use cases, I think if you have, specific reports that people use on a regular basis, and you had a scheduling thing on your own side, I think it would be very easy to schedule a report job, get that data, and push it out to a user yourself. That could be an automation workflow or something. I also think there's probably some data sync scenarios that it might be helpful for. I think if you need every gift record, you're probably better off listening to the webhooks and stuff like that. But I could see scenarios where you have a report that's set up to run, pull all the gifts that came in yesterday and export those to CSV, and you could use, the API to pull that data to, if you need to build some kind of read optimized data store or something like that with just the, report data in it, I think would be an option.
Awesome, thank you. And like I said, we have a ton of questions. We're definitely not going to get through them all. And I know some folks had some trouble entering the session. So I want to make sure we have a second to launch the survey here as well. Ron, do you have any kind of final thoughts or remarks here?
No, I'd say thank you everybody for showing up and asking questions. I will do my best to come back in the chat and answer any questions that we didn't get to in here. But yeah, we're really excited about this coming out. Personally, I think it's long overdue. I think it's a really exciting time for WebView that we have, some of the, really big features in database view, I think, are finally being freed. So I'm just super excited about it.
Awesome. Thank you all, everybody, for your time. We will follow up with those questions we didn't get to. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.